Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering this morning Chasing Orlando. This is season 2, episode 4. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video in support of me, and you can subscribe if you are new, and leave your comments below. Let's get into this episode. Okay, y'all. So we start off the episode. It is B-Baby's birthday, and he is entertaining us as only he can do. I enjoyed it. I love seeing him in his element. And we also seen Marlo in her element as far as dance. Even Max gave her props in what she was doing. I don't think we got to really see her dance that much, so I'll take their word for it, for what Marlo did present. Later on, they just kind of like talk a little ish outside, and we find out for B-Baby that the money that was given to him, because while he was performing, a lot of people did drop their dollars on him, and it's going to be used for treatment for his dad. So I'm probably going to be out of order because I'm going by memory. I didn't write anything down. Fabio has a studio session, and he's now presenting to us a little bit of his song that is going to be debuting pretty soon. He invites Pablo over. These are organic ways for the group to just start to get to know each other. That also happens later on in this episode with AO, and I think that that's cool. But anyways, I've listened to the song and I love it. Fabio is an artist, not just somebody with, and it's good to have this, just a dream. And let me get out there, or inspired by someone else. He's an artist. Because, well, one, I'm thankful because I don't get into a lot of rap. One, because of how I was raised, and I'm not downing anyone, but I was raised, I couldn't really listen to rap anyways. From my own perspective, like, I don't really understand what y'all saying. And then a lot of y'all are repetitive and saying the same stuff. And then finding out later with a lot of the superstar rappers rapping about stuff, appropriating just to take y'all dollars. I haven't had much respect for it, unfortunately, because a lot of them did not come from the hood and all of that, but they made sure that they targeted the hood with their music. That's from my own research and all that. But anyways, I really enjoyed the song, and I'm looking to see where I can stream by it, Fabio, but I haven't seen it as of yet. I went on your Instagram page, but I couldn't find at least a link or anything. So if you could please help me out, I definitely will support. Max and AO, they go to a beauty expo, and this is a way for them to network, connect, and all that good stuff. I'm glad to see it. I love to see it. We've seen a lot more of AO, more trying to connect with different vendors there. I love seeing it. They have a separate conversation later on. They talk a little bit about, well, AO is talking about, let's bring everyone together and all that, They talk a little bit about the pool party, and AO was like, look, I think that we can really squash whatever happened between you and Marlo. It's not that deep. I agree, it's not that deep, for real. I don't know how offended Marlo is, even if what she said was true or not. I don't know. But anyways, Max said, look, I'm gonna give you the energy that you give me. If you want that BITCH behavior, then I'm on it. If you're on that respect level, I'm gonna give it to you. He's still trying to figure out why did this happen, despite what even Marlo was saying. All it is it's a more he say, she say type of thing. But anyways, I thought it was still foul for Marlo being in on that conversation, and Max didn't even know. So, but this is something I'll get to that when I get to that. Anyways, what's the next scene? What's the next scene that we could talk about? Okay, Marlo visits her hometown in Eatonville. Cali Boy's there. Did anyone else? Oh, and did Reginald come? Reginald, Rashida? I think Rashida showed up. I can't even remember. Anyways, Marlo basically just gives us a little brief synopsis of how she grew up. She grew up in the hood, all that good stuff. There's a park that's named after her grandmother. Grandmother was basically the little town grandmother right in there and took care of a lot of people. Especially, she was talking about being in while the dudes were playing basketball, she would make all the grandkids, including Marlo, go, if they like lost some garments or something or left garments, she'd wash it, and then the next time that they come around, she'd hand it to them and all that. So that's the type of grandmother that was present and the type of community that they had in Eatonville. I don't know where Eatonville is at particularly, but anyways, we're hearing some of Marlo's struggle, even returning back to her hometown because of she is trans, and she gets a little flack because she did transition, but she does end up just clapping back at these folks. She's like, look, you're gonna have to respect me. That takes guts. Especially as a trans person going back to the hood. And look, black people got a certain type of what I want to call it, bigotry towards the queer community. It's instilled. Like, if you and then on top of that you're trans, you hardly have no hope. I do see this hard shell. I'm sure that Marlo is vulnerable around certain people, but I know that she has to have this tough exterior, because if not, she'll be in shambles. At least that's what I see. Later on, we get another scene where Marlo goes to a DMV. She's wanted to get an update on her driver's license, and she wants to convert it over to her being a female. Since there's been a lot of laws with Governor Ron DeSantis, there's a lot of red tape that she's got to go through, and it's going to be quite a show to try to get that actually changed. However, Marlo now was able to take a picture as herself, and I guess the M is quite smaller than what it is, but how Governor DeSantis has done things here in Florida, all I got to say is defund him with the quickness. And I actually low-key wanted him to get into the White House to get out of Florida, because he's crazy. But we see what's going on with the current president. But I could go into other politics and all that good stuff. I just wanted him out of here. Hopefully he's gone pretty soon. So after taking the picture, Rashida comes, and I think, no, Reginald came to Eatonville. I think that's what it was. Yeah, and that's when we understand that, I don't know. Anyways, we'll get into that. She just talks about, after getting her picture taken and got a new license, I want to cry, but no. She said that at least the lady behind the counter was pretty nice and trying to give different avenues as to what to do, because, a lot of people don't really treat trans people right. So, yeah, like I said, I know that there is just this tough exterior that Marlo has to have on. Let me see. Let's see. What's next? AO goes on a date with one of his exes. I guess they used to play around back in the day, but nothing really hit off like it was supposed to. So they go out to, I'm just going to say Dave and Buster's, but it's that type of surrounding. And they're just going on a date. He talks about how this dude, the ex, which he's cute, was saying that he likes to play games, da 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 da. They talk about the past. I guess he was just straight out of high school and it just didn't look right. And then the ex said that, well, you was in some other type of situation at the time. So I don't know what was going on there. It seemed like it was a little bit more messy back then. However, at least AO is single, and I guess he wants to see if he can get things started with this dude. Dude gave him a little bit of struggle, but he's going to give him another date and all that. So cool. We'll see how that goes. Mark goes and visits with his sister and nephew. He lets her know that he's going to start performing again. He has not been doing it for a while, and we learned that he's been diagnosed with HIV. And it just really took the wind out of him. He also shares that he contracted it from someone that he trusts. That right there Ooh, that has got to be the lowest of lows, especially someone that you thought you could trust that can do it. However they got it, they gave it to someone else, you know. I don't know that feeling. However, my heart goes out to anyone that is dealing with HIV and AIDS, but grateful that medications and have come a long way to help in slowing down the fatality rate of ones that contracted. So my prayers are with you. He did say that he's now at a place where he is undetected. So thank God for that. He talked a little bit about telling his mom. He was a little bit nervous about that, but his mom was supportive. They talk about BB, the one person that, the manager and close friend. He's up for a conversation. The family friend comes through the portal of his sister. Even if she's not up to, at least right now, wanting to talk or whatever, he's still going to try because he's at a place of maturity that he just wants to make things right. So he'll give it more than one try, but don't try for too long, Mark. Because look, don't try for too long. After a while, you got to wash your hands of certain situations. That's my only advice. Anything else happened before the main? Oh, before the main event, of course, Mark is doing some type of photo shoot and has AO as like the creative director of the thing. It wasn't titled that way, but he was styling Mark. They do the photo shoot and they sit down, and then he ends up talking a little bit about his HIV status and all that. So a way to bond. Of course, AO is again trying to form bonds with everyone to get to know everyone, just like even Pablo's doing. Then we move on to Mark. He's going to be debuting his song. It starts with Miami. But anyways, I think he did a good job. Everybody was up. Marlo, who was someone that's not really into, I guess, rap. I guess it's just from particular people that she would listen to, but she was even bopping to it. So Reggie did put dollars on him and all that good stuff. And it looked like it was a good set. So I was happy with it. And as I just wrote a message on Chasing's YouTube channel, you know, I think Fabio and Mark did do a good job at presenting their music. Of course, Mark was more performance, but we got to hear what Fabio was actually doing. So that was pretty cool. Now, they go outside. And now it's time to really talk about stuff. And they talk about the pool party yet again. And now it's time to hold B-Baby accountable. And everyone's giving their point of view at how they feel about this dude showing up and doing all that he did. I still don't know what he did. Totally. But there's a consensus that dude was doing too much. Rashida says that I don't know why he came at me like that. At least from what I saw, okay, well, you were quite being a little rah-rah, all because he said something about, what's the word? Thumping. You were quite... I didn't know if that was the reason why he came in. However, B-Baby did explain that the dude was getting restless and he wanted to know how long we was going to be. Of course, filming a reality show, there are no hours. You hear until they get what they need done. I guess production had already stopped him or tried to talk to him, like, no, we can't do this, like, hold off. But anyways, he came into the scene. But nobody's talking about that woman as of yet, and I need to know why. That woman that came into the scene, what was going on? But anyways, how Rashida's saying it is just like, dude was getting up in her face and and I'm just, look, I'm chill until I'm not chill. But that wasn't what you were presenting on the first episode. Unless you're doing a lot for the camera. And now knowing a little bit about your background, it sounds like a lot of stuff that you're doing is performing. Just saying. Even though you were quite chill during the scene. I'm just... Anyways, so Mark says that, well, because of how I see you present yourself, I don't know why, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't know why that you would want to be friends with him. I don't think that that's anyone's place. Especially y'all don't even know B Baby like that. To try to now determine whom B Baby should be friends with. I don't know. We don't know. Is this a one-off of him acting however he was acting? All I know is, as far as what I've seen, dude wasn't putting his hands on anyone. Yeah, if you talk ish, you can get hit too. I get that also. But it's just like, okay, yeah. Is this normal behavior? Marlo did say that, no, you can't just try to put it off that he's a post-survivor, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I agree with that. I mean, you gotta be accountable for your actions, and we came to a pool party to party, not to fight. I can get with that. But again, no, I don't think y'all should do that. Because I could easily say, Marlo, why are you hanging out with Rashida Reginald, who weaponizes domestic violence? That's not cool whatsoever. If you were a little bit more closer to B Baby, and you know him, and you have some type of influence or something in his life, maybe you could say, hey friend, you really want to hang around that? But again, we don't even know the history. Because B Baby's like, that's like my best friend, you know, da-da-da-da-da. I don't think that was the route to go. That's my opinion, but y'all can let me know. Yeah. As we saw that Reginald was on the scene. And he said that he got with his current girlfriend. The current girlfriend is biologically a woman. I'm only going to speak about this, and this is my last time. Unless there's a more conversation on the show about it. But one, I don't want anyone thinking that I'm coming after the trans community at all. It's just I'm confused. Because you said, oh, today I choose to dress up as a man. I just don't know trans people that get to flip-flop. I've never seen that. And it feels like you're putting on characters, sir, ma'am. So I don't know how to really take you. And guess what? I'm willing to learn. If you're able to educate me a little bit more as to what you got going on, cool. I did read last week during my review that there are times where trans people will detrans, I think the word is, and they go back to it because they tried it and then don't really feel comfortable in doing it. I get that. But it's just like, oh, today's Tuesday. I'm going to be Reggie today. It's Saturday. I'm going to be Rashida. And then I'm conflicted because as Reginald, now your voice changes. As Rashida, it goes up. So that's where I'm confused with you. I'm lost. I am lost. I am lost. Yeah, so since that was brought up, Max comes in defense of B Baby and says, well, look, I think just about everybody was getting aggressive. You just can't put everything on this dude, da 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 da. Then him and Marlo start getting into it over this because he pointed her out. And okay, you were aggressive. You were the one that was running after, chasing after me like a baboon and a linebacker. Now, I'm seeing in the comments, not my comments on the Chasing Realities, the videos comments, that they feel like Max was being racist. How y'all feel about that? To me, it wasn't. It was a wild description, but I don't think he did that in a racist way. Of course, it's easy to go by that because this is a dark-skinned black woman. So people are going to have a way with that, and then you're dealing with someone who's not even black. Here we go. Now we're going back to Chasing Dallas yet again. But I don't think so. But y'all can leave your comments and tell me freely what you think and how you actually said it. And then somebody was saying, oh, Max has been giving, in the comments, Max has been giving subtle racist stuff. I'm just only paraphrasing. I don't remember verbatim. I was like, subtle, well, where? Like, show more than what you think in regards to what he said to Marlo. So it gets into this more yelling match, da 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 da, people standing on chairs, da 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 da, saying the same reads. Marlo said, nobody knew you before I started reviewing you and talking about you. But y'all were about to be on the same program. You were going to be on the same docket. Then you start talking about the billionaire, millionaire, thousandaire, hundredaire thing. That doesn't make sense to me. You were about to be on the same ticket as him, according to what this whole inclusive thing that was supposed to happen. So that was our drama for the evening. At least nobody was knocked out on the ground, blah, 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 blah. But that's all I got for y'all. You know, let me know how y'all feel. I'm open. I'm not saying I'm agree, but you're free to leave your comments as to how you see it. I feel like it's going to be used to Marlo's advantage, even if she don't even feel that way. I feel that way. I feel that that's going to happen. But yeah, let me know about how you feel about the other things I said. But I appreciate everyone for coming. Like this video, subscribe, and until the next one, peace.